Hello everyone, Johnny Miner here, and today we are continuing to learn Japanese with Pokémon FireRed. Last time we started going around Viridian City, Tokiwashi in Japanese. We also checked out its Pokémon Center, so our very first Pokémon Center. And so today we'll continue going around Viridian City, the part that's currently unlocked, as we'll see. And then, not sure if also today, also check its Pokemon Mart. And that, for last, if you have played the original or this version of the games, or also the Let's Go ones, you know already why, but yeah, you'll see why when we get to it. And yeah, without further ado, let's start. And yeah, we still have that we defeated, we faced our rival there, we left Professor Oak's laboratory. And also talking to the NPCs again, just to see if they had something more to say. Left the house. And then, funny enough, entered Greens. Yeah, we arrived at Viridian City, as you can see here. And yeah, then here we stayed, we stood still for a while, so I actually press it. And yeah, we saved here. Literally wrote the report. The report, actually, but yeah, report is the accent in Japanese. And yeah, we checked out the Pokemon Center, talked to this NPC here. Yeah, we went to the right first. And yeah, here's the shop. Okay, there's also this. We check it later, that. Again, when we get to it, I forgot about that. This we haven't seen, and we check last time. We didn't see it last time because I forgot that this was a thing. If you press up, there it shows up what technically the sign says. Pokemon no Tairyoku Kaifuku! Exclamation mark, and then Pokemon Center. Yeah. Pokemon, possessive particle no Tairyoku. As we have seen, it means literally body power, so physical power. In our case, better than by physical strength. According to the dictionary. Yeah. Power, then by extension stamina, which I'd say is the one that makes the most sense here. Accented on the first Mora, Tairyoku, Chinese compound, the second most common accent for those. And then Kaifuku, another Chinese compound, this one unaccented, restoration, recovery, in our case recovery of course, as in healing. Funny enough, yeah, it says recovery of Pokemon's stamina, exclamation mark, and then Pokemon Center. So yeah, Pokemon Center simply from English. We have seen that the accent of Santa is just like in English on the set. So yeah. So we can now talk to this NPC next. 君が腰につけてるそのモンスターボールは First we have 君、second singular pronoun, second person singular. This is familiar language. Sometimes technically considered male language says, but in general it says simply familiar usually. Referring, of course, to someone of equal or lower status. Unaccented. So yeah, you, then the subject particle ga. Koshi, which is a body part. Want to check its accent. It means waist, well, technically lower back, and then also waist, hips, the lumbar region in general. Yeah, of course, in our case, waist here, as we see why. The accent is unaccented, okay, così. We have seen other body parts that are unaccented. For example, kutsi, which we have studied even in kanji, pretty easy one, that one. Other ones accented usually on the last syllable. Comes to mind, for example, we should have studied already even its kanji shita for tongue. Yeah. By the way, contrasting with shita unaccented for down, bottom, and so on. But yeah, to the waist, and then we have the particle ni, so yeah, tu. Similar to English, as in, there's also in Japanese the particle ni can also imply contact, and yeah, this would be perfect also in this case, but yeah, we can simply translate it as in well, technically at also, but you see why in a second. Yeah, we have the verb tsuketeru. Tsukeru, the usual one. Funny, in this case, actually, attached it would be in its meaning attached, literally. Technically, append, affixed, yeah, attached, let's say more in general. Ruverb, it's an verb. Notice also the U barely heard if at all because it's between voice consonants. And so we can drop the Ru to make the continuative form. In this case, to attach the Te and make the Te form. Technically, by the way, the accent of Tsukete should be on the Tsu, but since the U is barely heard if at all, some would keep the accent there anyway, otherwise you have to move it. So funny enough, in this case, unlike other verbs, it's verbs, because the accent of the form is always on the third to last more. Usually it moves compared to the dictionary terminal form for verbs, it's verbs. But yeah, this one, funny enough, goes back because of that, of the barely heard if at all vowel. Sorry. Yeah, the form required because we actually had Iru, then here contracted, drop the E, Iru to be able to exist, of animated things, so people and animals on its own. After that, the form of a verb becomes an auxiliary with the meaning continuing action or state, be doing the action of the verb, or have add what the meaning of the verb. After that, we have, well, as we see, technically a noun modified by a certain something, but we'll check it in a second. So yeah, relative clause as usual, because those go before, immediately before the noun they modify. And yeah, after that we have sono, part of the Kosodo series, called close to both the speaker and the listener. so close to the far from the speaker, close to the listener, and yeah, but we can see perfect in this sense as we in the sense that yeah, it's not on the speaker, but it's on the listener's body. Far from both, though the interrogative, because so usually an accent, do accent on the do itself. With the no, it becomes the demonstrative adjective. And so yeah, that something which is monster ball, monster ball, the name of Japanese name for Pokeballs in general. Boru on its own, unaccented, so be careful, it's one of those words from English which become unaccented in Japanese. Monster, on the other hand, accented like in English. Then we have, funny enough, the topic particle wa, written as ha. So yeah, literally, here it would say, the translation, as for those monster balls attached to your web, to adapt it in English, literally would be actually that you have that you attached have attached to your waist. Then suspension dots and the exclamation mark. So yeah, yeah, like in an exclamation. So yeah, the start of that sentence, technically, then it doesn't continue. Because it continues in the other part. He says then, Masashiku Pokémon dane. First and foremost, we have this Masashi, an adjective. Well, technically, actually, we have seen it before. It should come from an adjective Masashi, but nowadays it's not used. Actually, might be actually straight up Masai. Well, no, being in this form, it should be Masashi. So yeah, sorry. Because I can mention quickly that the adjectives in classical Japanese were all in shi instead in the dictionary, we could say terminal form. And then you simply have had a distinction between ones that straight up replace the shi with the ku to make the adverbial form, the continuative form actually, to be precise. And those that added ku, and yeah, they respectively became the adjectives simply in simple e and those in shi e in contemporary Japanese. So yeah, simply that it was worth mentioning that. So yeah, considering this form here, it was originally Masashi, but yeah, nowadays not used. It's used straight up as an adverb. It means certainly, surely, undoubtedly, evidently, really, truly. Can also mean just, precisely, exactly. So yeah, you can see why from certainly, surely. Written with technically actually using kana alone, also according to the dictionary. Hello Guillaume, nice to see you here. But yeah, it originally used the kanji for correct and so on. Nowadays, no, also because it would you would confuse it with another reading of an e adjective that kanji still has. So yeah, to avoid confusion, nowadays this one written in kana alone. The accent of Masashiku, yeah, is as expected. on the sub, because that's the typical spot for the accent of accented adjectives in their Q form, in their adverbial, as I mentioned, actually continuative form technically. So third to last, it moves off one, because in the dictionary form it would be on the second to last mora. Masashku. And then Pokémon, da, the copula, and then last but not least the final sentence particle, ne, right, isn't, well, in this case aren't, well, in our case actually isn't, because we only have one. So the translation is surely it's a Pokemon, isn't it? And and then he says, Itsutemo Pokemon no dashire ga jiyu ni dekiru nante. And then actually it should continue in this case, I think. First we have this Itsudemo. Which is whenever. It comes from itsu, which is the interrogative pronoun for when. And then we had demo, a conjunction, we could say, or a particle. Most likely, actually, originally the form of the copula, and then the inclusive particle mo, also even. This one, demo, means as a particle even. Stronger than also, because even as in also, no matter how, and so on. When added to interrogative pronouns like itsu in our case, it adds the meaning ever, whenever. If you say whenever in English, technically it would be no matter when. So you can see why. Luckily the accent is itsu is accented on the first mora, and luckily same for itsudemo. Whenever in our case, so Pokemon again, not the possessive particle. And then we have this dashire, from a verb, a compound verb. Actually, I don't think it's used though as a verb. But clearly, originally from dasu, to put, take, get out, as in put, take out. We have even studied its kanji, accented, verb colon verb, so we can change the u into it to make its continuative form. And so technically, the corresponding noun in this case, taking out. And then we have ire from ireru, unaccented. We studied the kanji of both these. So funny enough, you could already write it in, or read it also written in kanji. To put and so on in, to insert. So ru verb is a verb, this one, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form. Taking in. And so literally taking out and in, the order in Japanese, taking in and out. By extension can become deposit and withdraw. its accent is on the C. Technically, would be the accent also of the C on its own, because accent on the last mora, like the continuative form, also used as a noun of accented verbs. I suspect in this case it might also be because it's a compound, and so the accent would be on the first, on the last mora of the first word, part of the compound. One of the typical spots for those. Taking in and out here, subject particle ga. Then we have GU, we have seen it last time, I'm pretty sure. Free is the fundamental meaning. Chinese compound, but unfortunately one of those completely with a different accent compared to the usual ones. This one is accent on the U. So low, high, low. GU. Actually, would be on its own the noun, so freedom, liberty. It's an adjective also, so free. In our case here with the ni, we make the adverb. Ni usually typically used for the adverbial form of na adjectives. I suspect instead of a particle, technically, the continuative form of the classical copula nari, literally being free. Either way, nowadays it can simply be considered an adverb, freely. And then we have the verb the kiru, to be possible, can do, and it's actually used also as the potential form of suru, to do, by replacing it instead of conjugating suru in its potential form. We replace it because the kiru exists and already has the same meaning. And by the way, this with this the kiru, it's actually used because you can use dashi ire, make it into a verb by adding the verb suru, to do, literally, so to do, taking in and out, so to take in and out, would become a transitive verb, but since we use the kiru, so the potential form of the verb, it requires actually the particle ga, the subject particle, because literally it would be taking in and out is possible. So that's why. Last but not least, we have Nante. Technically from Nani. The interrogative pronoun, which means what. Then contracted the ni into n, the drops because of usually when followed by something, usually this in such by a consonant like here. And nowadays, by the way, you have to straight up use the contracted form for this for words like this one. Nante is used practically as in anani, but more used like an exclamation. How, by extension, fundamentally would be what. Can also be used technically questions, but yeah, not literally asking what, as in a simple what, but yeah, more again as if it were kind of like an exclamation. We could say in a way. But yeah, we'll see why in a second. But yeah, let's actually move it here. Well, yeah, the first part we have seen whenever the translation here is whenever you implied can, literally taking in and out is possible. You can take in and out Pokemon freely. Yeah, Dinante is actually after for the following part. And yeah, here you can see an usage more like how in English. How, because after it we have the adjective berry. You can see it set up an adjective because of the it's present here. Berry, accent on the first more. Chinese compound, yes, second most common accent for those. Convenient, handy, useful, but yeah, convenient. Here followed by a noun. So yeah, required. We need to attach na. Actually, a contraction of the attributive form of nari, as mentioned, the classical copula. Naru would be, but yeah. Nowadays we dropped the ru and only kept na lucky, so yeah, it's more convenient. Funny enough. And then we have this yo nonaka. Technically, you could say kind of like an expression because yeah, we have this. And good thing I have actually searched it as such because apparently its accent is weird because it ends up being on the no itself, so yeah, on the possessive particle, not typical at all. But yeah, yo on its own means world, society, public. Other extended meanings or similar meanings. For example, technically life, lifetime. But yeah, here world or society accented on its own. Possessive particle as mentioned. And then we have Naka, and yeah, it's the one we have already studied. Even its kanji inside, middle, can also be among, then by extension, during, and so on. But yeah, fundamental meaning inside. So yeah, literally inside the world, the society. And yeah, so this expression simply means society, the world, the times. And yeah, so that Nante is well, then last but not least we have again da ne, copula and the final sentence particle ne. And we've seen that all being able to you can take in and out freely Pokemon whenever. Well, we can actually keep what in this case. What a convenient society. So yeah, isn't it? Oh yeah, perfect. We have seen what that NPC had to say. We can't reach that one because yeah, there's the water, and funny enough, we can actually see our reflection by coming here from the top. Yeah, we can get to that NPC. We can check these three. So we can already see what this says. Kono ki wa nandaka kiresou da. And yeah, in this case we have kono, again, the demonstrative adjective, but with the ko, this, something, in our case ki simply. Ki accented means tree. We've even studied its kanji. We have the topic particle wa, so as for this tree. Then we have nandaka, and yeah, you can see again nan from nani. Then we technically have the copula, the interrogative particle ka, used after interrogative pronouns to add the meaning some. If you think about it, makes sense because yeah, some is something, is a thing not specified. For example, in our case, something or someone, one not specified. So yeah, you can see why it's made starting with the interrogative particle. Here is a peculiar form, usually to say simple something. It would be nani ka by adding only the interrogative particle. When we add this sequence nandaka, it actually becomes somewhat. So yeah, actually the some plus what in this case, in the sense of, can also be somehow, in the sense of a little. Well, in our case, better somehow. Because after that we have kiresou from kiru, accented should be, it means to cut. It's worth mentioning that the same kanji can also have the reading kireru, which means to break, to snap, to be cut. So yeah, in this case, weirdly enough, the transitive is in u, the intransitive is in eru. Usually it's the other way around, as you have seen, but yeah, it works like this. Most likely, actually, because the original verb is only kiru, and then kireru was created. And so actually, yeah, we can keep it as kireru in this case, simply. Well, I'd say it still doesn't make sense in that sense. So yeah, my original understanding was actually better. If we keep it from cut, from kiru, we can change the u into e and then add ru to make kireru, funny enough, identical. But yeah, in this sense, it would actually be the potential form of the verb can cut. And then potential forms of verbs are verbs instead verbs. And so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form, and then to add so, which is an auxiliary adjective, na adjective, which means looking like, having the appearance of, seeming that, appearing that, usually based on how it looks and so on. It's worth mentioning that because there's another so with something that seems to be something, but because of hearsay, no, in this case actually because it looks like it. Regardless of it being technically the potential form of the verb or Kirairu straight up, well, so is mentioned an adjective, so at the end we have the copula in plain speech. The meaning is as for these three somehow it seems, it looks like it can be cut, and that's why I actually thought the potential form, and I think this is the meaning that makes the most sense. We have these, but we can't deal with them for now. Okay. Technically we have something here to the left, but we don't need it for now anyway. So, let me quickly see around here. No, we have the shop, but we'll check that for last. We try entering the house first. Oh boy, I choose wrong, because this is a pretty long part. Actually, we have something new here, straight up also. Instead of the usual, it's full of Pokemon books. This says Pokemon Zanaru. Of course, Zanaru. Journal from English. Accented just like in English. Pokemon Journal. Then it says Pokemon no Kenkyusha Okido Hakase Tokushu. First and foremost, Pokemon possessive particle no Kenkyusha. Which comes from Kenkyu. We have seen it unaccented. It means to research, study, investigation, but more specifically research. Noun, unaccented because it's a Chinese compound. And then we have this sha. So it should be the accent before the sha itself, but I'll check. Got the physical dictionary. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's the case because we have seen it before. We have studied its kanji even. But yeah, still wanted to confirm it. Sha, in this case, means person. Is a kanji for person, not the usual hito, but another one. This one usually used in its Chinese reading sha. As a suffix with the meaning in our case would be researcher, similar to in English. So when you add that, the accent should be on before. Let me see if I can find it. Perfect. Here it is. It's before it. Before the sha itself. So in our case, Kenkyu, usually an accent, becomes Kenkyusha. Not on the U, because it's the long vowel, and the accent can stay on it. So on the Q, Kenkyusha. So researcher. Okido Hakase, so Professor Oak, as in Japanese, Doctor, PhD, Oak. And then we have Tokushu. First and foremost, I can already mention that the U of the Q is barely heard if at all because it's between unvoiced consonants. And yeah, this literally would mean a special collection. It's the kanji of Atsumeru, Atsumaru. Yeah, literally special collection. So yeah, it becomes a feature of a newspaper, a special edition, technically a report, but yeah, in those senses, technically, as we can see also, based on its kanji. So yeah, a feature. Literally, it's the Pokemon Professor Oak feature, special edition. And then it says, Okido Hakase wa Omago-san no Nanami-san. But we can make it move since on top it simply says, as for Professor Oak. And yeah, then we have Omago-san. And yeah, from Mago, which we have seen means grandchild in general. Accent on the last syllable. I'm not sure with the honorific prefix though, because it might change if we can find it in the physical dictionary. And then of course we had also the son, because yeah, we are not talking about our own grandchildren, but someone else's. Yeah, if we don't straight up change the word, at the very least, usually we add the son to these nouns that refer to people, like this one. I tried looking for Mago on its own in the physical dictionary. Maybe I find it there actually. Sometimes that's the case. Let me quickly see. Okay, perfect. And yeah, Mago, accent on the last syllable on its own, while Omago-san, as you can see here, also straight up with the honorific prefix here, unaccented. So yeah, unfortunately it happens when adding O. And yeah, so be careful. Then we have the possessive particle no. So yeah, actually to attach it to the following noun and modify those. Nanami-san, Green-san to. At the end we have the to particle with, as in together with as in the quotation particle, the to quotation particle. We have to see the rest of the sentence, but yeah, here we have literally his implied grandchildren, Nanami-san and Green-san. Yeah, we have of course to add a san to their names. And yeah, no, it was simply with, as in together. Because after that we have Sanninde, Kurashite, Iru Rashi. First and foremost, we have Sannin, a numeral plus counter combination. Then in, we have already studied, is the kanji for person, people, the fundamental one. And yeah, can also be used as the counter for people. Again, the basic, the fundamental one. It's worth mentioning, we have seen that for the number 2 and 1 and 2, we use ri instead, which is of strictly Japanese origin. And so it becomes hitori, futari, hitori accent on the to, futari accent on the ri itself. Starting with the number 3, we have the accent on ni. We use nin. I'm looking at it. Okay, with short ones and also san for some reason. The accent is on the ni itself, on nin technically itself, so on the ni. With longer ones, it's before nin, so in our case would be san nin, on the ni itself. It's also worth mentioning that the number 4 is yo nin without the n of yon, other than yon being the strictly Japanese pronunciation of the number 4, because she is barely heard, is used less, because it has the same reading as the kanji for death. That's why there are some numeral plus counter combinations that still use it, but most don't. I wanted to mention that, and also the number 9 Q nin. Actually, the fundamental one, while it exists that variant, there's also, and technically it's the one shown first in the dictionary, kunin with ku instead, an alternative reading of the number 9, the Chinese reading of the number 9. But here pretty easy, san nin. Then we have the particle de. Technically might be with, but in this case I'd say maybe the origin is actually from the te form of the copula. Its meaning, whatever the origin is that it's used, in this case, with this numeral plus counter combination to say as 3 people can, for example, another typical is futari de in 2 people, so doing a certain action as 2 people. So it's the particle used for these numeral plus counter combinations. Okay, the 3 of them, and by adapting it. And then we have the verb kuraste from kurasu. Maybe actually an accent, but we'll check. Kurasu, an accent, I thought so. Kurasu means to live. Actually, would be the usual usage is more like live on, by, and so on. In our case, clearly is actually still by living technically together. It's not the usual verb used for this, or at the very least they spend together their time. That, by the way, technically would be another meaning of that verb originally, kurasu, by extension. Either way, verb colon verb, it's in su, so to make the form it's the easiest one. We change the u into i to make the continuative form, and then it has te, no changes. Te form required because then we use iru, so again continuing action or state. Last but not least, we have this rashi, which is technically an adjective, an auxiliary adjective. This one seeming, appearing, but actually based on evidence, reason, or trustworthy hearsay. Yeah. This one when used after a verb. It has also the usage after a noun and so on. Ish, typical of, whatever the noun is, and so on. But yeah, here with a verb, yeah, clearly simply it seems, it appears, and hey, trustworthy hearsay would be in this case that Professor Oak lives with his, or at least, yeah, in this case I'd say straight up lives, as we have seen in the house, straight up it was Green's house, Nanami was there, but yeah, with his grandchildren, Nanami and Green, as 3 people. Yeah, with that. Yeah, so we heard some gossip about Professor Oak. Yeah, here we have simply a town map. I'd say we can actually take our usual break now, and we check the rest of this place immediately after. And yeah, unfortunately there is actually a lot here to see. Yeah, we'll do so we can take care of it. Yeah, see you in around 5 minutes, most likely, slightly less. And we're back. Yeah, so we can continue. First and foremost by talking to this girl. She says, who noto no naka no koto. But actually it continues, so yeah, first and foremost we have that who, which is of course like a who in or a who in English. And yeah, we'll actually send that away to have the rest of the sentence. And yeah, so it says Noto no naka no koto Watashi zenbu oboeru no. First and foremost we have noto. Yeah, from English, note. Let me check the accent. Okay. Yeah, actually an abbreviation of notebook. Yeah, notebook in English. The accent of that would be on the bu of buku. Yeah, buku accented also on its own, like that, on the bu. By the way, with the doubling of the consonant. Buku. Could be also here either that it simply keeps the accent of the second word, part of the compound, typical. Yeah, honestly, I'd say that in this case. Otherwise, it could be technically the first more of the second word part of the compound, but we have seen other ones where it isn't that one, and we simply keep the accent of the second word part of the compound, especially with these English words. Yeah, usually the accent kept is the second one. But yeah, here noto on its own, accent on the no. So noto. Then we have the possessive particle no. To attach it to the following naka, so inside of the notebook. Then we have another possessive particle no. And then we have the noun koto, thing as in matter, things, here as in concepts, technically. Then technically we would have, we would need a particle, topic particle most likely. But yeah, implied, yeah, that's typical. Not expliciting several particles in spoken Japanese, especially more casually, and in particular the topic particle, the object particle, the subject particle. Yeah. In this case, after that, we have watashi. First person singular pronoun I, the most common one, unaccented, from watashi, more formal, but yeah, same meaning. Yeah. This one slightly formal, it's the most common one. Can also be used technically in fiction, like here. Technically not only fiction, but in can be seen used by females in the sense that they don't use males might would use usually here more casually their pronouns boku and ore, we have seen the most common ones, but yeah, so also that keep in mind. But yeah, watashi is the fundamental one. a subject particle then would be implied either way. After that we have Zenbu, literally all parts, cioè all, entire, whole, all together. Noun can take also the possessive particle to make in practice an adjective, all, entire, and so on. Can also be used as an adverb, cioè, but in this case actually I think it's all as in the noun. You could say otherwise, well no, actually you could keep it as technically as an adverb, as in I remember something, all of the something is something that Koto we've seen above. I guess Zenbu, by the way, Chinese compound, accent on the first mora. Another one of those. Last but not least, we have Oboeru. To memorize, as we have seen, accented. To learn by heart and so on, commit to memory, to memorize would be the fundamental meaning. And then by extension becomes to learn, more in general, to acquire, in the sense to learn, and so on. Last but not least, we have this no as a final sentence particle, and it's not a question, because when used as a question with a rising tone, here not clearly, we would have had most likely the interrogative, the question mark. Indicates a question and can be used by anyone. It's a more casual one compared to ka. But yeah, when used in an affirmative sentence as a final sentence particle, it indicates quote-unquote emotional emphasis, usually. It's female term or language. Yeah, so perfect, because she's a girl. So yeah, she says, I learned all, we can adapt it, the contents, or I've learned the contents inside the notebook fully. Yeah. So yeah, we have this notebook. And funny enough, it says here, noto nozoita, again, note, the notebook, object particle o written as well, pronounced as such in careful speech and also singing. And then we have nozoku, well, nozoita here from nozoku, which means to, there's another one, but yeah, not, this is clearly the one which means to peek. To peek into, yeah, so unaccented nozoku. And yeah, verb got verb. It ends in ku, so we have to follow the rule that it becomes ita to make that a form. Again, first we change the u into i to make the conjugative form nozoki ta, but then the k fell and so only the i remain nozoita. Yeah, ta form is on past form of the verb, cioè peeked at the notebook. And then it says ichi peijime. So yeah, we have this technical counter peiji. Funny enough, in Japanese, when written with kanji, we can use a certain kanji. Of course, they actually applied the English pronunciation to the kanji for that usage. But yeah, here we straight up have the term page, written as is. Page from English, page. Unaccented on its own, be careful. Another one of those words with that unaccented. But yeah, when added as here clearly numeral plus counter combination, the accent of these is luckily always, I'm checking them all, yeah, as I suspected, always on the peg. Pretty easy. Although here we have also me additionally. We have studied its kanji. It's the kanji of I, but yeah, also used as a suffix to make numbers ordinal. Numbers or numera plus counter combinations. So in our case, first page. And as we have seen also in our previous series, Super Mario World, when we add me, the accent is always on me itself. We have seen it for ban, for example, with the counter for a number. And funny enough, I had the confirmation also because it was straight up listed ban me here in the section of the dictionary. I also got confirmation there other than the part of the dictionary that mentioned it. So yeah, the accent always on me. So yeah, it's page me. Yeah, first page. Suspension dots. It says Pokémon wa monster boru de tsukamaete. Yeah, first and foremost, Pokémon wa. As for Pokemon, so we'll actually move it to see the rest. And yeah, after that it says Mutsumade Mochi Arukeru. And yeah, Monster Boru, so yeah, Monster Balls, Pokeballs. De, in this case, the particle which means with, as in the means, so yeah, with Pokeballs. Tsukamaete. Tsukamaeru. Verb, which means to catch, to capture, so yeah, quite important in Pokemon games. Unaccented. Ru verb, Ichidan verb, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form and then add te. Tsukamaete. The u, by the way, of tsu, I barely heard if at all because it's between our voice consonants. In this case, it's saying its most common meaning. Do the action of the verb in te and the rest of the sentence. Technically, you could say also by doing the action of the verb, but yeah, it's better the first, the former in this case. After that, we have mutsu, 6, and then tsu, general purpose counter of strictly Japanese origin. So yeah, we use Japanese numerals. So with the number 6, mu, the accent should be, but I'll check it, on tsu. In this case, unfortunately, that's far from the case, always the case. Yeah, I actually have to check it before here. No, I can't see it. I actually find it sooner by searching it in the online dictionary plus than the plugin combination. And yeah, mutsu, accent on the tsu. We've actually seen it, no, not this one. But it's worth mentioning that while usually you would double the consonant, so yeah, mu, small tsu, and then the tsu, there's a variant without it, and that came to mind because of the whole matter in Zelda 2, as we have seen. That one was three-eyed rock, so with Mitsu, usually also with the doubling of the consonant, shortened there. Oh yeah, 6, general purpose counter. Made, up to, it's the particle which has the meaning. In other, up to in general can be also up to, technically, a place. In the temporary sense, then until, yeah, up to, technically, the fundamental meaning. And then we have Mochi, from Motsu, to hold in one's hand, technically, to take, to carry, by extension also to possess, to have, to own. We can change it's a verb, colon verb, so we can change the U into E to make the continuative form. Technically, in this case, in its meaning, do that action of the verb and the rest of the sentence. And yeah, as you might have noticed, the same as the form. In this case, well, usually the distinction is that the form is the most common way to make to have that meaning. The continuative form of verbs is a more formal way to do that, also found in written texts. I'd say here actually most likely simply to not repeat the form. Technically you could do it, but yeah, to distinguish them. And by the way, the form itself is technically a continuative form of an auxiliary from classical Japanese. So yeah, unsurprising then that the continuative form of a verb on its own has that meaning. And then we have the verb arukeru from aruku, actually I think accented, but we'll see. It means to walk. Yeah, accented. Verb, go verb, so we can change the U into E and then add ru to make the potential form. So yeah, can walk. So yeah, said as for Pokemon, you can catch them with monster balls, so Pokeballs in general, and hold up to 6 and can walk. So yeah, can walk, can hold up to 6 and walk. So yeah, can go around then by adapting it, while here we can actually adapt it by instead of doing the action of the verb and by or while, in our case better, while doing the action of the verb. So yeah, can walk, can go around while holding up to 6. Okay, so we can continue. Then we have Pokémon o Sodatete, Tatakawaseru, Hito, Pokémon Torena to You. Yeah, we have Pokémon, the opposite particle O, Sodatete, from Sodateru, to raise, to bring up, typical verb we've seen for Pokémon. Ru verb is a verb, so we can drop the ru, make the continuative form to add, then add te. Here I'd say maybe by raising them. By the way, the accent here is on the third to last and moves, so that teru, so the te, here it moves on the da, so that te, low, high, low, low, for the te form. Then we have Tatakawaseru, from the Takao to fight. Luckily, as in matches here. Technically, then by extension also sports, yeah, in that sense. Unaccented verb colon verb, so we can change the U into A. Here it becomes Wa because originally it was actually Pu, but the P got changed into W in between, not at the start of the word, so yeah. Wa, we, U, actually remained simply U, then We, Wo, but then the only one that remained is Wa, and now it's written as Wa. Originally was written as Ha and read as Wa, like in the topic particle, which is like that because of this reason. Yeah, change the U into A and then add Seru to make the causative form of the verb. So yeah, make, let, fight, like is make, fight. After that we have a noun, hito, person, people. They barely heard it at all. But yeah, so the verb up to the verb tatakawaseru, relative clause, refer to hito. So people who make, and so on, make, fight. Then we have the object particle again. Then we have Pokémon trainer, and then to you. To here has the quotation particle required by the verb you. Literally simply say, we have even studied its kanji, can also be pronounced and written as you. So yeah, you, so yeah, long you. Say, and then can, by extension, becomes called, to call. Oh wow. Okay. But yeah, so here it simply says the people who make Pokemon fight by raising them, by bringing them up, are called Pokemon trainers. And then it says, yeah, that was the first page. It says, Tsugi no peiji akechao ka. First and foremost, we have Tsugi on its own accent on the last syllable. Here, not because we had the particle no, and so that makes the word unaccented, unlike other particles. So yeah, which means next, with the possessive particle, becomes in practice an adjective, expecting technically a noun. Page again, so yeah, next page. Implied an object particle, and then we have akechao ka. Here from Akeru, we have seen Akeru, unaccented, means to open. Yeah, so technically to open, as in to open, quote unquote, the next page. So go to the next page. Reverb is a verb, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form and then add te, and then add shimau. Shimau on its own to end, to finish, to stop, to end. Other meanings we have seen also to put away on its own. When used after the form of a verb, it has the two meanings, either to do completely, to finish like we have seen, or to do accidentally, So in the sense to end up doing the action of the verb in te. Okay, in our case, funny enough, to do accidentally, to do without meaning to happen to do, of course, here, ironically, because yeah, no, you are clearly doing it actually intentionally. By the way, here we could use, technically, we use a present form of the verb. Present form can also be used for a simple future. Yeah, translation I put then at the wheel, as we'll see in a second. Last but not least, the interrogative particle, as mentioned. The answers are hi, yes, ie, no. Fundamental ways to say yes and no in Japanese. And by the way, yeah, ake, te, shi, ma, u. Sorry, there's also a part I haven't mentioned yet. Gets contracted, so yeah, the te, shi, ma becomes cha. Te, shi on its own becomes chi first, and you can find that form also chimau. But yeah, more often than not, then further contracted into cha, chima, cha. By the way, shimau verb, Godan verb. So yeah, like here, we can change the u into o, u. So yeah, actually long o, to make the evolutional form. Can be either in its meaning let's. Yeah, technically in this case could apply as it's technically or could be technically the meaning to be willing to do the action of the verb technically. But yeah, here to keep it simple, I'd say let's technically end up opening the next page. We say yes. And yeah, mi peji me. Second page. Pokémon o tsukameru toki wa mazu yowarasete kara. And yeah, it says Pokémon, the object particle, tsukameru, again to catch. After that, we have the toki, technically a noun, so yeah, literally, again, relative clause plus refer to the noun. Means toki, time, hour, moment, occasion, case, accent on the last syllable on its own. Yeah, then in translation, simply we translate it as when, by literally at the time in which you do the action of that verb of the relative clause, the time in which you catch Pokemon, literally, when you catch Pokemon. Topic particle wa. Then we have Mazu, first, accented on the first first mora, high-low. First of all, firstly, to begin with, and so on, an adverb. And then we have this verb, yowarasete, from yowaru. Yowaru means to weaken, to grow weak. Intransitive verb, accent, yowaru. U verb, Godan verb, so we can change the u into a and then add seru again to make the causative form. And so yeah, technically to weaken in the transitive or literally to make let someone grow weak. causative form, which is verb is and verb, so yeah, we can drop the ru, make the continuative form, and then add te to make the form. The form in this case is required because then we add kara. This kara are used after the form of a verb means after, since, yeah, after, since in the sense of after. So yeah, here it says, as for when catching a Pokemon, first, literally, firstly, literally it will be, it's after weakening the mentioned Pokemon, making grow weaker. And yeah, we use the Tekara form because of that, so yeah. You first do that and then the rest before catching, and then you catch it. Yeah. Ooh, actually missed it. Let's actually go back to it. I didn't expect it. Yeah, it simply says then after Doku ya Yakedo de. Doku we've actually seen before because of the caterpillar Pokemons last time. Okay. Accent on the last syllable, Doku. Yeah, poison. Ya as the particle, so yeah. And but with a non-exhaustive list, or such things as we could say. Such things as poison and then we have this Yakedo. Which is actually straight up, I'm not sure its origin, I might actually quickly search it. It uses 2 kanji, but actually it's clearly a strictly Japanese reading, or a global reading applied to those 2 kanji, because yeah, you don't use their usual pronunciations. Okay. I can see why then. Literally, it would be from yake, as in the verb yaku. There in this form, yake. Yaku, unaccented, means to burn. Then also by extended means all the it's actually used to roast, to broil, to grill, and so on. Yakeru is the intransitive form of the verb, so yeah, by the way, another case in which the transitive is in u, the intransitive is in eru, like kiru. Yeah, that one means to burn down. And so on. And then the do is actually simply from Tokoro, which we have seen means is unaccented on its own. It means place, spot, and so on. I guess so. Straight up, strictly Japanese compound between 2 strictly Japanese readings. Yake from yakeru, continuative form of the verb yakeru. Do from tokoro, abbreviated into simply to. And then we have the voicing of the consonant because it's the second word part of the compound, and even more is of strictly Japanese origin. So yeah, literally place that is burned. So yeah, yakedo means a burn. So cioè as in the noun, scold. And by the way, it's an accent, so yeah, be careful. Actually pretty easy. Last but not least, we have the particle de, so yeah, with, weaken, as mentioned above, applied, make them grow weak, with poison, burns, and so on. And then it says, Yowarasete io, and it stops there technically. Yeah, we have again Yowarase, Ru, Yowaru. So already explained. We drop the Ru to make the continuative form and then add te. And yeah, so the form in this case is required because we then add the particle mo, also even inclusive particle. In this case, yeah, to make a form even though, even if technically, but in the sense more even though, but better even if in this case actually. Followed by io, adjective which means good, or also yoi. Yoi it's original form still used in conjugation, but is the most common one in its dictionary form. And then yo as the final sentence particle, is one of, or hey can also be another translation, usually certainty or emphasis simply. So yeah, literally it says even if you make them grow weaker, literally, even if you weaken them, the Pokemon, it's good, it's okay, And then it says Genki dato Umaku torenai kamo. And yeah, first we have Genki, we have seen it last time. Healthy, in our case, clearly as in at full. Here, actually, as the conjunction if, when, one of the forms of the conditional in Japanese. If, when, so actually can also have a temporal meaning. Like in English, this is the closest one to the zero conditional. So if it is like that, then, or when it is like that, then the rest technically inevitably happens. Yeah, of course, that's an approximation, but yeah, this is the closest one to that. Yeah, after that we have Umaku, first and foremost, from Umai. This one, there's technically can also have other meanings, but yeah, this is the one accented either way. Skillful, good, and the extension you can also say, but yeah, skillful would be the fundamental one. Another meaning would be good, as in the sense of delicious, tasty. Can also be good, as in deal, idea, and so on. Profitable, promising, and so on. So technically, again, good, but more in the sense of skillful, like in our case. Or can be for delicious, and so on. Adjective, so we can drop the e and add ku to make the adverbial form, as I've called it, but yeah, again, actually, is technically the continuative form of the e adjective. So you can see why it's actually used for conjugation then, considering that. But yeah, accented on the U, umai on its own, accent on the ma again, same rule for the accent. But yeah, here, known also as adverbial form because yeah, it can be used as an adverb, so yeah, skillfully or simply well, we could say. And then we have torenai from toru, to take. To take literally, so yeah, in the sense of catch in this case. Verb and verb, so we can change the U into A and then the RU to make the potential form can take, can catch. RU verb is a verb, the potential form, so we can drop the RU to make the irrealis form, the not yet state form of the verb. And so, nowadays simply used, most known as the negative form, because yeah, usually used rather than nai or similar expressions to make the negative form of the verb in plain speech. Nai is the adjective which means non-existent, and yeah, is also used for these negative forms in plain speech. Last but not least, we have this kamo. Technically, we use ka, the interrogative particle, mo, most likely again, the inclusive particle also even. But yeah, this combination kamo is actually an abbreviation technically of kamo shirenai, or kamo shiremasen, if you made it polite. Shirenai, from shiru, to know. Again, we would then make the potential form by changing the U into E. Shireru, can know. Drop the RU to make the negative form. To add nai, shirenai. So yeah, literally would mean don't, it can't be known if, because actually the interrogative particle ka is used in indirect, as in if, when making actually indirect questions, in this case, if the whole sentence, if it even is true, implied true or not. So this expression kamo shirenai has that meaning. So in practice it's simply used as a may, might, perhaps, maybe, possibly. So yeah, actually usually around, yeah, literally could be that case, or it couldn't be, so yeah, like a 50-50. Yeah, more often than not abbreviated in kamo in speech like this, more casual speech. But yeah, the translation is simply if or when it's healthy, the Pokemon, you might not be able to catch it well. Okay, so that. Yeah, we open also the next page. Third page. Pokemon Doshi o Tatekawase Katsukoto wa Toraena ni totte. And then it continues, but yeah. We'll translate here. First and foremost, we have this Pokemon, and then Doshi. Doshi means there are technically more than one, but yeah, this one is clearly the one for technically fellow, mutual, actually in our case, companion, comrade, but yeah, in our case clearly mutual. Accent on the first syllable, yeah, it's a Chinese compound accent like that, one of those like that. Yeah, so technically the Pokemon mutually then, or we could say simply Pokemon companion technically also would make sense. In this case simply, so Pokemon companions, as we'll see in a second. Other way then we have the object particle O. Tatakawase, from Tatakawaseru, again the causative form of Tatakau, to make fight. Here in its continuative form, so yeah, again the usage to that and the rest of the sentence, or by making them fight. Well, actually I'd say do the action and the rest then, because then we have Katsu, which means to win. Should be accented, as it is. And then we have Koto, so yeah, literally relative clause or verb in attributive position, referred to when modifying Koto. In practice, we have seen, yeah, Koto is considered a nominalizer for verbs, so yeah, a thing, matter of doing the action of the verb. Win, then simply we could say winning. Topic particle 1. Then Torena. Then actually ni totte goes together. Yeah, literally we use totte from toru, to take, as we have mentioned. In its form, it's in ru, it's a uvergulant verb, one of in ru, so it actually becomes double consonant te. Again, change the u into it, torite, then the ifel, torte, difficult to pronounce, becomes simply the doubling of the following consonant, totte. Cioè, taking, literally. But with this ni before it, ni totte, it means from the standpoint of as far as is concerned, cioè then simply we could say also for, so yeah, for trainers, well, as we see the rest, then let's translate the first part. Making Pokemon fellows, Pokemon companions, or because of the Pokemon mutually, technically, better maybe companions in this case simply, fight and winning. As for that, and then we have the yeah, for trainers, Saiko no Yorokobi de Aru. Yeah, we have Saiko, literally most, we have the usual sai found in these words, most something. In our case, ko literally is the kanji for high, and can still mean technically highest, but more often than not, then by extension, best, finest, we could also say by a best. Psycho should be an accented, it is Chinese compound, so unsurprisingly. noun technically that can take the possessive particle here no to make in practice like an adjective, so the best something. In our case, yorokobi from yorokobu, to rejoice, technically to be delighted, to be glad, to be pleased. I prefer to rejoice as the fundamental one because it's a verb. Other extended meanings, but yeah, yorokobu. Accented, we change it's a verb colon verb, so we can change the u into i to make the continuative form, and so the corresponding noun. And yeah, so joy should be accented on the last syllable, but we'll check, as that's the rule. Joy, delight, and so on. I know, good thing we checked because it actually becomes unaccented, so yeah, be careful. Despite being the verb accented, it's an exception. I think we have seen it once before at least, but yeah. Last but not least, we have the aru, technically another form of the copula. This one technique is a more formal one, used in written text usually, and yeah, it's a specific form usually used in that context. But yeah, so as we mentioned, making Pokemon companions fight and winning for trainers, it's the best joy, the highest joy. We could also literally keep it. And then it says, Kakuchi no Pokemon Gym de wa itsumo hageshii. And then it continues. We actually stop at the wa then and then go back, make it continue before translating itsumo hageshii. But yeah, first we have Kakuchi. Literally, each earth would be, but of course, earth, ground, but yeah, in the then by extension land, so yeah, becomes each place. Kaku is quite useful because yeah, it can be used in several of these. They become Chinese compounds. Yeah, it can be used in several of these, and yeah, it has the meaning Kaku. Each. Cioè, Kakuchi, the U should be barely heard if at all because it's between voiced consonants. Cioè, Kakuchi. Noun. Then we have the possessive particle no. Of each place. Then by extension becomes technically every place, various places, but yeah, literally each place. Then Pokemon. Then finally we have the term Jimu. Yeah, gym from English. Yeah, quite important in Pokemon. Yeah, the Pokemon gyms. Accent like in English, luckily. Yeah, then we have the particle de in at in this case. So doing the action of the verb in at that location. The one used with the most verbs. With the verbs of string we use ni instead. We have the topic particle wa. Yeah, so as for at the Pokemon gyms of each place. And then it says Itsumo hageshi tatakai ga kuri hirogerareteru. Yeah, quite the verb at the end. But yeah, first we have Itsumo, again from Itsu, when here we add only mo, so it becomes literally any. When we add mo, it becomes any, so any time. It can be used. Technically all of them, but some usually are used more in one sense or the other. But yeah, anytime, and so by it becomes always in the positive. When used in the negative, anytime, yeah, like in English, not anytime, so technically never. So yeah, here in the positive, so yeah, always, accented like still on the E. And then we have Hageshi, an E adjective, which means fierce. We check its accent, I think accented, but I might be wrong. Yeah, violent, furious, tempestuous, technically. Then by extension, extreme, intense, fierce, as mentioned. Several other similar meanings, but yeah. The fundamental one would be technically violent, and then by extension, intense. And yeah, accent, Hageshi. Then we have Tatakai from Tatakau as mentioned, so yeah, continuative form used as the corresponding noun, so yeah, a fight, a match, then by extension, a battle, we would say, for Pokemon in particular, unaccented, like the verb, luckily. Then we have the subject particle ga, and then we have this big verb. First and foremost, we start from Kuri Hirogeru, a compound verb, clearly, already, that's why it's already pretty long. First we have Kuru, again the one which U verb, colon verb, that's why it becomes Kuri. We change the U into I to make the conjugative form, and so attach the second verb part of the compound. But yeah, it's the Kuru that means to reel, to wind, and so on. And then we have the verb Hirogeru, actually an accented Hirogeru on its own, to spread, to extend, to expand, and so on. I'd say the fundamental meaning technically to extend, yeah, they're all pretty similar technically, to spread. So yeah, Kuri Hirogeru, actually accented, so be careful despite Hirogeru on its own not be accented, means to unfold. And yeah, we can see the Kuru, which was the technically the to reel, as we have seen. Yeah, then the spreading of Hirogeru, so yeah, to unfold, to unroll, to open. Ru verb is noun verb, both Hirogeru and Kuri Hirogeru. So we can change the U into A, and then add re, ru, to make the passive form of the verb are unfolded, unrolled, opened. And then the passive form of the verb is a ru verb is noun verb, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form, to then attach the te, and then the te used because we had iru, here simply ru because of the contraction, so a continuing action of state, so that's why it becomes pretty long, and there is even the contraction of the e. Oh yeah, so as we mentioned, as for at, it, the Pokemon gyms at of each place, always, anytime, literally, fierce fights, fierce matches, fierce battles, literally are being unfolded, unrolled, opened there. So yeah, quite the verb to simply say that yeah, fierce fights, fierce matches of happen take place at the Pokémon gyms of each place. We opened also the next page, fourth page. Pokémon トレーナーの目標は各地のジムにいる and then it continues, so actually we stop at the は、Pokémon トレーナー Pokémon Trainer の possessive particle 目標、aim, technically the U should be barely heard if at all of the Q, because it's between our voice consonants. 目標 unaccented is a Chinese compound, so unsurprising. Cioè goal, but yeah, originally the fundamental meaning would be target, aim, and then so yeah, objective, goal. Wa, the topic particle. We can actually... okay, no, I was wrong. We got an anticipation of what happens. Finally, it ends at that. We quickly go through it. Yeah, actually stops there. Well, it actually continues, but it goes. It doesn't continue with simply a line. So yeah, we said as for the aim, goal, target, Pokémon trainers. Again, Kakuchi no Gym. Then we have ni, again the particle in at with verbs of staying like iru, to be as in to exist, of animate things, so people and animals. Here actually most likely relative close because of refer to the following word, not present here, but yeah, that are at each at the gyms of each place. Oh yeah, which is Tsuyoi Torena Hachinin Shu o Taosu Koto. First we have Tsuyoi, strong, Torena, trainer, so strong trainers that are, as in they stay at the gyms in each place, of each place. Then we have actually technically Hachinin, but then also this Shu. So technically it would be, wonder if I find it. Yeah, no, we then simply have to add Shu after technically. First we simply have then Hachi, Nin, so Nin again, so yeah, 8 people. Okay. Numeral plus counter, the counter for people. As we have mentioned, with Hachi, which is the number 8 in the Chinese numeral, it's one of the long ones and it's not 3, which is an exception. The accent is before Nin itself, so yeah, Hachi Nin on the Chi should be. But we'll quickly check it again just to be completely sure. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, perfect, exactly, on the Chi. And then we have this Shu at the end as a suffix, clearly. Technically, yeah, in this case it should be Shu, the one for people, while technically a great numbers of people, accented on its own, can be used then as a suffix for people, folk, clique, bunch. Funny enough, it mentions the dictionary honorific or respectful language, but also familiar language, so yeah, not sure. well, in this case, consider the context technically respectful language, I'd say. But yeah, the meaning is still that. I wonder if I find it as a suffix. Hope that will be the case. I will quickly see. Shoe. Not the one I wanted. My guess would be that, like other shoe I can see here, would be the accent before shoe itself. So yeah, technically then the accent would move on the ni, in this case. Hachinin shu. But yeah. Then we have the object particle o. And then we have taosu. Taosu, as we have seen, to defeat. Literally to throw, bring, blow down, knock down. Yeah, by extension then to defeat, to beat. Can also be to kill, but yeah, not clearly in our context. So literally to throw, bring, blow, knock down. Should be accented. And yeah, after that we have koto. Koto, as we have seen actually, again, that is for verbs, thing doesn't matter on its own. But when used at the end of a sentence, well, in this case, I think it's simply because of the structure above, so it could simply be the nominalizer. But in other cases, we have seen that it becomes, it's implied important to. So yeah, you should, advise that you, and so on. But yeah, we have seen that the strong trainers, the group of 8 that stays, that is at the gyms in each of each place, defeat them. And yeah, so that. Let's continue. And then it says, Sarani Pokémon Rigu Honbu ni wa, and then technically the suspension dots, Moretsu ni tsuyoi. And yeah, first we have Sarani. It means it's an adverb. Notice the ni. The accent is on the sa on the first more. It means furthermore, more and more. Can also be again after all. But yeah, the fundamental meanings are more, as in furthermore, more and more, moreover. Then we have Pokémon Rigu, Pokémon League. Search only Rigu, so it's accent. Yeah. Like in English, perfect. I suspect that the accent we keep is on the one of Rigu, not Pokemon. Lucky, because we actually don't have confirmation of it. Then we have a Honbu. We've actually seen it before because of the Pokemon link, I think. Because it means headquarters. Yeah, literally main. Hon, we have studied this kanji, and then Bu, again the part. Yeah, main quarter, main office, head office, headquarters. Accent on the first mora, so it's a Chinese compound. Ni wa. Again, actually, as for the ni, is again inat with an implied iru, not present here. And then it says moretsu after those suspension dots. Moretsu. An adjective which means we actually technically still fierce. It can also be intense, severe, violent, strong, and so on. Terrific, terrible. Technically fierce, the fundamental one. Unaccented, Chinese compound. Here with the ni, so the adverb. When used as an adverb, technically terribly, and by extension then extremely, totally, very, extremely I'd say better. And then again, strong implied again the trainers that are at, and you see then why we use the ni above. So the translation is furthermore, as for at the headquarters of the Pokémon League, implied the people there are extremely strong. Then we can continue. Then it says Shiten no ga kunrin shiteru. We have the term Shiten no, which is it's the term used in Japanese for the Elite Four of Pokemon games. Literally, it's the four heavenly kings. It's a term from Buddhism. Literally we have Shi, 4, what is the Chinese reading in this case, 10, sky, heavenly, heaven, so heavenly. No actually comes from O, we have this additional N because of the previous one. O means king, so literally the 4 heavenly kings. Technically, Buddhist term refer to these 4 heavenly kings specifically, and then by extension simply the big 4 leaders in a given field, so in our case of the Elite 4 trainers of the Pokémon League. Then we have the subject particle ga. By the way, I didn't mention, I think, the accent of Shiten no. The accent is on the no, so be careful. Technically, it might be because of using O as a suffix. Although usually you wouldn't use it like this. But anyway, the accent is on the no. Shiten no. Subject particle ga. Kunrin. We check its accent. Chinese compound. So actually I think it should be unaccented, and it is. Kunrin means reigning, literally reigning over a country. And then by extension, of course, dominating, controlling, dictating. But we could technically keep it as reigning. The noun, so then we can make it a verb by adding suru, to do, literally, to do reigning, so to reign. Suru, completely irregular, so we simply have to remember that its continuative form is shi, and then we have te to make that a form, and again the ru at the end, so actually te, ru, continuing state or action. The Elite 4, as we have seen, literally the 4 heavenly kings, the big 4, and simply by extension, reign, are reigning. With that. After all that, the girl moves, as we have seen, and we see on Nanoko. Again, as a reminder, we have seen it when we chose our protagonist. Literally means female, possessive particle, unaccented on its own child, cioè literally female child. Be careful that the accent is on the on na is accent on the last syllable on its own and is kept here. So it's an exception despite that the following possessive particles. So on na no ko, the accent is on the na. Yeah, so the girl, and then it opens the what she says. Ah, so yeah, and noto miza da me. And yeah, first we have noto again, then we have miza. From miru, to look, to see, to look at, to watch. To verb it's and verb accented, miru. So we can drop the ru to make the continuative form, and then add te. Te here, and also wa. Mi te wa, contracted them into cha. Te wa, when adding the topic particle after the form of a verb, literally as for doing the action of the verb, and so it becomes technically kind of a if you do the action of the verb. Oh yeah, we can keep it as literally as for doing the action of the verb, and then we have this dame, a typical word accented on the last syllable, an adjective. No good, useless, yeah, not serving its purpose, useless, broken. Can be hopeless, also wasted, in vain, purposeless, again. By extension, it becomes also cannot, must not allowed. Cioè, literally from that no good above, so yeah, it's used in these expressions with the tewa form of the verb. You cannot, you must not, you are not allowed to do the action of the verb. Literally, if as for doing that, the action of the verb, it's no good. So it's you cannot, you must not. So yeah, here you mustn't look at my implied note. And yeah, with that we finally finished that. So yeah, there's a lot. And funny, and actually there's more here. We have to talk to this character, and we have the whole blackboard there. Oh yeah, we'll do that next time. We have gone for way too long for now. So yeah, we'll actually save the game here. Oh yeah, we'll save. Oh yeah, we can close the game. And yes, so today we continue going around Viridian City. We actually made relatively good progress. We didn't finish, didn't even get to the Pokemart because there's this this house here. If it isn't clear enough from the things we have seen so far, it's kind of a school. And yeah, of course, there's a lot to read, and so yeah, it will take. So next time we should be on Friday, unless plans change. We continue from there. We'll finish that, and then we'll continue going around Viridian City. Hopefully, finish at least going around it, potentially including the Pokemart, but we'll see. But yeah, this part, of course, took longer because of that of the school. Yeah, so let's message on Friday. Yeah, see you next time.